The first reason to pull for Kirara is if you're pulling for Yae as well. Well duh, they're on the same banner, of course you're pulling for Kirara as well if you go for Yae. Sure, but this is just to say, this combination of units on the banner makes pulling for it quite compelling. In the previous video I talked about how Kirara's power is kind of locked behind some constellations for some teams, but on quick and quick swap teams she fits like a glove, even at constellation 0, and at high constellations she is just straight up the best option over all of the other defensive ones. In particular, I also believe Yae to be the best pseudo carry for the quick and quick swap team, although Keqing is a very good alternative as well. The idea is that the multiple roles Kirara covers, in that she's both a quicken enabler and a defensive unit, allows you to flawlessly slot in Kazuha or Sucrose in the composition instead of Zhongli, which brings massive benefits for the team from a single target damage standpoint, and also upside in terms of utility since Kazuha's grouping can be invaluable. This is something Baiju and Yaya already allowed, and at low constellations Kirara competes with them, while a constellation for Kirara and Haiger is consistently better. Just make sure to use the instructor set on her for these teams, since she will reliably be able to swap in and reapply it for the full rotation, increasing the team damage by around 6% through it alone. The other interesting factor for Kirara in the meta is her potentially being able to become a defensive Collie for Nilou Teams. If you're not aware of it, Collie is arguably a best-in-slot option for the double Dendro, double Hydro teams. The reason is simple: despite having below average Dendro application as a whole, its unique characteristics are really helpful for Nilou Teams, as she can provide a lot of front-loaded application while also having rather low cooldowns, which means she does incredibly well in multi-wave scenarios. The idea is that you're going to kill a wave fast thanks to her front-loaded application, which allows for higher blooms generation initially, and then repeat it quickly for the second wave thanks to her low cooldowns. Kirara is sort of the same. She has an elemental skill that she can use every 8 seconds at minimum, or every 12 seconds if you use the hold version, which by the way produces more application. She also has an elemental burst with a 15 seconds cooldown that produces a lot of application right away. Moreover, her Constellation 4 adds a lot of off-field application to her kit, making her outlook very promising. She can theoretically match or surpass Collie application-wise, while also being a great defensive option on top of that, especially since her shields have extra durability against bloom damage since they're Dendro shields. Something I haven't seen talked about much during the beta process is that Kirara is one of the best shielders in the game when it comes down to mixing offense and defense, if not the best. The healer role in Genshin has a staple named Bennett, who also happens to be one of the best offensive supports in the game, and shielders have just not been able to match that level of offensive contribution in general. While Kirara doesn't necessarily break that rule, she's definitely in the high hand when it comes down to how good offensively a shielder can be. I'm personally in the camp who believes shielders are better than healers, because the stagger resistance that comes with them is just invaluable, so Kirara being able to also enable great offensive results for Keqing Teams and Nilou Bloom while also having access to one of the best shields in the game for a 4-star is just a really good place for her to be in. I'm done for today. Tomorrow I'll be releasing a full banner overview so you can have an idea whether you should pull on it or not. As always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.